Hello and welcome to the Film Whisperers here on Ben TV, where two movie nerds talk all things film with a contemporary lens. My name is Saj.
I'm Alice.
Given that comedy is now making its way into people's conversations because of the festival, I think it's very timely that we talk about what we're going to talk about today.
So we're going to talk about
Female ensembles.
Female ensemble, like comedic
female
ensembles.
Yeah.
Why are we going to talk about this? Apart from the comedy, there was something else that brought it up. What was that?
We recently recorded and released a podcast episode on the film The Sweetest Thing from 2002, and that was a female ensemble.
I really wanted to do this film because there's a part in the film that's like a song.
Yeah.
it's very blue, like the type of song. It's just talking about girls making men feel good about the size and look of their genitalia.
Yeah.
But it's really funny. It was one of those things that stuck in my head as like seeing that when I was like 13 or something. I need to bring this up. The only place I could find that film, they cut out that song from the film.
Yeah.
And I felt like I didn't realize till the end of the film, and I thought, hang on, we didn't watch that. I've seen it on YouTube, like rewatched on YouTube, but it was cut out of the film, and there's nothing saying anywhere that, hey, we have essentially, you know, edited this film. Like, it's still like rude in other areas of the film. Like, it's still highly rated, like I think it was like R rated maybe.
Definitely.
But they've just cut this out with no warning, and I'm just like, what else has happened? And I had a little deep dive, and there's other films that we're streaming which are being edited and we don't know anything about it. So new people to these films may watch a film which it isn't even the proper product.
Just quickly, I had someone message me and tell me that, so they listened to the podcast episode and they said to me they watched it on Apple TV and the scene's there. We saw how funny women can be when we watch The Sweetest Thing, especially when it's a trio of comedic talent, I guess. I mean, they were not comedic actresses. I think not all of them were. Yeah,
they weren't comedians first, but they
And given how good it was, I thought, let's have a look at what are some of the other female. And just quickly, Alice, just to be clear, so an ensemble is any more than two or more people that have been that had the spotlight for a film.
Yeah, so it's a film where there's more than like 2 or 3 characters. They're all important to the film. We go and we see each of them and how they kind of all entangle in the film. Yeah, it's not just one main or 2 main protagonists.
I think 2 is fine as well because it's still an ensemble.
Still an ensemble? Okay.
It's just one that is not.
All right, that's how we're defining it.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what's come to mind for us. So Bridesmaids, of course.
Of course, yep.
For millennials, like it was a huge film. Obviously The Sweetest Thing, that's what's kicked this off. We've got still Magnolias. It's still comedy. It's sad, but it's a comedy. Sex and the City movies,
yes,
for sure.
Definitely.
Ocean 8,
yes,
which I think is one of your. You enjoyed that one, didn't you?
I loved it. Yeah.
And you also liked Ghostbusters.
Better than the original.
Better than the original, as you say. Girls Trip, Booksmart, The Other Woman, Bad Mums, Pitch Perfect, and Mean Girls.
Yes.
So you do fight with me on Mean Girls. You don't think that should be on the list.
No, that's not an ensemble.
Because it's mostly about our main Katie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you look at the poster for it, it's Lindsay Lohan. That's the only name that's featured on the poster. So it's not really an ensemble.
Okay, I would like just give it like special consideration. That's all. That it's mostly about the girls.
Yeah.
But it's also about the guys. So I guess too. Well, it's about. When I say that, it's something. Why I bring that up is this is one of the things I want to talk about with a female ensemble film. What makes it good? What is common with these type of films that we've just mentioned? How is it written, basically? I think that a lot of these films are based on like a wedding. It might be on a male love story, or like, you know, there's some sort of, you know, someone somewhere's their ex or someone they bump into, or he's breaking up or he's cheating or something like that. Anyway, it's not just focused on the women. I would say the only one is really Bridesmaids.
Oh, it's about a wedding.
It is about a wedding.
It's called Bridesmaids.
But it's not about the guy, really. Like, I don't even remember who she marries.
No, but there is a love interest.
But there is a, oh, damn, there is a love interest.
Yeah.
Yep, okay, we had to throw that in there. So I'm curious what you think about that.
I feel as if a lot of these films, so let's start with the fact that a lot of them are written by women or directed by women. So let's start with that. And sometimes I feel like, especially if the characters are heterosexual women, men form part of that narrative in terms of their storylines. So whether we want to like it or not, it is, men are part of women's lives. So you can't tell a story about women sometimes where you don't talk about boys. And I also think that the difference between, say, a male-centric comedy that may not necessarily talk about women, and I don't think that's true. There's, even in male-centric comedies, there's always women that make their way into the storyline. And I think that's because in these heterosexual settings, talking about the opposite sex is common. So you kind of
in comedies. Yeah.
And also, I think with a lot of those comedies, the men need to be spoken about because they are the butt of the joke.
Okay, sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes.
Yep, I can see that.
Yep. So take The First Wives Club, for example, which is one of my favorite ensembles. All the men in there are, in fact, you're laughing at them, not with them. Yeah, same, even in Bridesmaids, at the start, she's dating the John Hamm character.
Yeah.
And he's a joke. So I think that some of the time the men are also used as the joke.
They use the joke, yeah. So they're still like part of the lives, but I would like to see something where they're not in it. So for example, a bunch of women go into a jungle or something like that. They're stuck in the Amazon or something, and maybe there's no men, it's just the women.
Well, there was a TV show that did that. It was called The Class of '09. I don't know if you saw it.
No.
Oh, okay. So now, sorry, we were venturing into TV here, but it's an Australian series.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
That's what the premise.
What happens is there's a natural disaster, and a high school reunion then ends up being the one place that all these girls are stranded in, and they just have to find a way to survive. But it's really funny, and it just ends up being one of those things where all the girls start acting like their characters when they were in school because they're around those people they were in school with, and it was really well done.
On that point though, because you're saying like they should be in it, I don't think they need to be in it as much. We talk about a lot of times, especially when we do podcasts, not to bring that up all the time, but we like to look at the Bechdel test when we're reviewing each film. And I could say that there would be male ensemble comedies where they would fail, but I don't think any of the women's one. I think that the male characters would always have a name. If we were to switch the test on males, like I think we're always going to give them a name, but with the male comedies, like the woman is just like a background player. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But and also I wanted to mention that yes, maybe we do need to have, it's good to have, it depends on the topic of the comedy. That's the main point. It depends on the topic. I don't think that it should be male centric. That's what I'm talking about. If we're going to get a new film, films, what I want to see from this is it's not so male centric. It's about the female relationships. And I would say that Bridesmaid, even though they do talk about the male stuff, and I guess that's true, I don't think about that. That's not
that's not the point.
That's not the point of the film. That's not something I care about. Who cares about that Irish cop? I don't care. It's the females, which is what really gets me to want to watch it again. Or to watch it with my girlfriends. Like if someone's getting married, let's watch that. And the other point I wanted to make on this is that yes, there's a bunch of these films we've listed where it was written by a woman, but it's still the studio still needs to fund it. The producers still need to fund it. So yes, they could have written it, but they don't, it's not like always their pure, script. They have to, play the game to get it made.
Yeah.
So, you know, Bridesmaids is one. Like if we just look at that list, the female written ones, Bridesmaids, Sweetest Thing, Girls Trip, Booksmart, Pitch Perfect, and special mention to Mean Girls. I know you don't agree with that. Do you think it matters if it's written by a woman?
Yes.
And why?
Because I think women should be writing women's stories, not men. The only setting where I think it's forgivable if there's a writer's room and there are male writers and female writers in there, and if you're writing a female character, they've been guided, the men are being guided by the women.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see that.
But most of the time, the scripts for films, it's written by one or two people. And I personally don't, and I say this for any minority, meaning white people shouldn't be writing people of color stories. Straight people shouldn't be telling gay people stories, because you're not going to get it right. It's not your lived experience. So unless, again, you get guidance and give the person who gives you guidance credit for it. Yeah, but again, in film, that it's not like in TV shows where there's a writer's room. In film, it's usually one or two people. So no, I personally don't think men should be writing these stories.
I agree with you somewhat. I do think a man could write these stories, but I prefer a female voice. I do think it gives it, like, there's the nuances that they capture.
Yeah.
And when you watch a film, like for myself, when I've watched The Sweetest Thing or Bridesmaids, like as an example, there's that little, that's the little thing that we would do, or
Correct.
that's the thing we would say to each other, just women, there's no man in the room.
Yeah.
So there is those little things where it's quite refreshing to see, and you feel like you're seeing your actual self on screen. And I would say that for all minorities, like what you're saying, I would think that that's what they would feel as well. But I do think you could write it, but exactly what you're saying, a mix. You need to have, if you're going to get if you're going to write that, you need to do your homework. You need to have other voices part of it, and you can't just say it's all your work, because that's just gross.
That's right. And just on that, the Sex and the City films and the series, written by a gay man, and that's why you have 4 caricatures. And see what that is an example of, this is what happens when you give a man the power to write women's stories. It was a successful series. It was great.
It's good for its time.
It was good for its time. But in hindsight, which is usually a great thing, we have the annoying one, the conservative one, the gay one, and
slutty one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of storytelling is that?
The annoying, I would say that they're self-centered. The self-centered one.
The self-centered one.
The rich one, the bookworm one, and really bad at relationships, and then the slut. Yeah.
So what kind of storytelling is that? I mean, and were women really relating to that? I mean, I personally, I didn't watch it as a woman, so for me, I looked at that and I enjoyed it. But are they really women's stories? I don't know. I don't think so.
I think that there was other writers. It wasn't just Michael King that was writing that.
Okay.
I think that there was some female voices in that. It was a writing room, like for the television at least. So there was voices in there, and they were looking, and I do recall them mentioning, bringing up things that had happened in their lives. Like that's most of those kind of shows when they've, gone for that many seasons, that many episodes. But I do agree with you that, I mean, the movies, I don't like the movies.
The first one was really good, though.
The first one was good, but the second one was just
terrible.
shocking.
I know.
We just ignore that. That didn't happen.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
And then the new ones.
Oh, that's
Yeah, yikes.
Yeah.
But on that, I wanted to mention with Sex and the City, one of the things that was so groundbreaking for it was that they were talking about sex kind of like men. Maybe that's because the male was writing it. But there was still like for that time, there was an empowerment in that women could, voice their sexual needs.
Yeah.
Okay, which wasn't really happening as much. It wasn't like to the detail that they're talking about, like using toys and things like that. Anyway, why I bring that up is The Sweetest Thing, which is one of the reasons that I wanted to do that with you in the first place, was it had that gross out comedy to it. And I kind of wanted to talk about these films, how they were received at the time. and maybe why they're not as popular like with the studios. I don't know. I think that like the main thing is misogyny, but with the Sweetest Thing, the Sweetest Thing, it came out, was it 2002? Was it? Yeah. So 2002, it had Cameron Diaz, Selma Blake, and
Christina Applegate.
Like amazing actresses. It's really good. You should really rewatch it. It was kind of criticized for doing male gross out comedy. Like it was copying male humor.
Yeah.
And this is one of the first films of this kind of, topic that was doing gross out comedy. Yeah. And they were like, which was amazing for women. But the thing that they were saying negative about it when they're writing about it was that it was just copying male gross out comedy. What is male gross out comedy? What is the difference? I don't think there's a gender in the unless you're talking about specific appendages.
Yeah.
Like everyone's gross.
Yeah.
We're all human. We all have gross bodies.
Yeah.
Like they do gross things. They do nice things too, but yeah. So it really kind of made me think about how hard it's been for women to get these comedies across the line, because women aren't allowed to be gross. In that time period, ladette culture was kind of forming. It was kind of popular. Women could be like guys. So it was like, the late 90s, early noughties, even you can say Spice Girls kind of thing, like women can do the same thing as men. So it was kind of like that, and can be gross and get drunk and whatever, can have it all. So I just think about like from there to where we are now, like I don't think that much has changed. Like I think we are gross, but like we don't have that many gross out comedies like that with just female led.
Here's my take on that.
Okay.
Let's go back to, and again, I don't have data to back this up. Okay. I think studios believe that the most people that go to the cinemas are men.
Yeah.
Right? It's changing now, and I think the success of Barbie and Wicked over the last couple of years have indicated that women have, and gay men have a lot of buying power and a lot of purchasing say over who goes to the cinema. But I think for the longest time, studio execs thought that it was men who potentially purchase more cinema tickets. And look, there's an element of truth to it, right? So again, I'm going to just quickly digress here. I personally think the reason as to why the Marvel films do so well is because a lot of the time men would drag their girlfriends to watch these films, whereas with a female-led film that's aimed at women, a girl's not going to take their boyfriend to it, because a lot of the time the boys will say, I do not want to watch it. Whereas, and again, I'm sticking to stereotypes here, but most of the time girlfriends will go with their boyfriends. So then that doubles the buying power that a household has. So essentially, if you look at the target audience for Marvel, it's ×2, because men are dragging their girlfriends to watch these films. And chances are, again, I don't have data to back this up, I'm just going by lived experience here, girls say yes and go, yep, sure, I'll come with you. Whereas boys say, no, I'm not going to watch Barbie. Let's go back to these films. I believe that for the longest time, studio execs believe that men don't want to see women gross. That being gross, it was just not a thing. Women are fine by seeing women gross. Yeah. And I think what changed the narrative was Bridesmaids, because that film was not aimed at men. That film was aimed at women. But I think execs saw that women have a lot of buying power, and it's women and gay men that probably saw that film the most. And I think I keep saying this, you do a film that targets both of those groups, it's going to be a hit.
Yeah. We'll
so it's almost like, well, fine, we don't want the straight men. Wicked. Barbie, again, you do one that caters to both those groups. It's as good as doing a blokey film, because instead of the girls going with their boyfriends, girls go with their gay friends. So anyway, and I think Bridesmaids proved to studio execs that you can show something that is so female-centric, and you will get audiences in cinemas.
That's true.
And that started to change things. It's the same. I think The Sweetest Thing was a more shock factor because we hadn't seen anything like that at that stage. But I think Sweetest Thing walked so that Bridesmaids could run.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. I would say I agree with you that that's what the studio thinks happens.
Back in the day. I don't think it's like that anymore.
I think like a lot of people feel more comfortable just going without the guys. I do think that it's harder to get guys to go see these female...
straight guys.
Straight guys.
Yeah.
We're just saying, like, say the boyfriends.
The boyfriends,
to go see these films because they're, you know, they'll say, oh, chick flick. Which is just completely just sexist.
Yeah,
completely,
of course.
Like, we wouldn't do the other, oh, guy flick. Like, but I wanted, and mentioning that, that's how they advertised Bridesmaid was as the female hangover. Yeah. The female hangover. So that's how they were trying to get guys in, which is ridiculous. And I don't even know how many guys actually went and saw that. The box office, like it was a box office smash.
Yes.
Okay, but why haven't we seen that in 15 plus years? Why haven't we seen that again? Like, why haven't they made films like that again? Like, they've done some stuff, but I wouldn't say it's
Rough Night. Like, there's a few. There was another movie that was very similar to Bridesmaids that had Kirsten Dunst and Rebel Wilson. Do you remember this? Bachelorette, it was called. It was so good. It was so good.
Yeah, it was good. It just wasn't like at that level. I don't know.
Maybe it's because let's leave it, like in the sense, don't try and copy Bridesmaids. Let's do different versions of it.
Yeah, you're right. I'm just curious about that one. Pitch Perfect is another really popular film, and it has legs. I mean, they made multiple ones afterwards. The thing with the females, and okay, we can say the gays as well, is like we will keep watching them as well. So we're loyal.
Yeah.
And we do have buying power.
Yeah.
Now, there's a lot of people that don't have families as well, so they've got more of that freedom to see what they want. I think that's probably part of it too.
Yeah.
So I just want to see more of that.
Yeah. Well, I also think it'll be interesting to see. The future of cinema, right? Because I think that right now, again, I don't have data to back this up. I just have this gut feel, millennials are the last cinema-going generation. And as we grow older, I feel like studio execs are making things for us, which is why we have all these remakes of films that we grew up with, because now millennials have kids who are, I mean, chances are going into that teenage years. So we now want to watch films as a family. So there's a lot more sort of doing things for the millennial generation because we have a lot of buying power.
We have we have the buying power. We're the ones that are going to go to the cinemas.
Yeah.
I think that it will increase. I think that cinema, like even though it goes through, less people are seeing it.
Yeah.
I still believe in cinema. I think it'll get better.
I'm hoping.
Yeah.
The thing that that needs to sort of change is I feel like every year there needs to be that one film that ends up being the most talked about film. So again, I'm going back to 2023 when there was Barbenheimer. What a genius marketing campaign to drive audiences into cinema.
Yeah, but now they're all doing it. Like they're gonna keep doing that. The way that Barbenheimer works is that it was like a female one and then a male one. And it's like they just seem together like the same day because there's a new film that's coming out at the end of the year. They're doing the same thing on the same day. I do want more. I like the gross out humor. I wish we had more gross out humor, not just for the sake of being gross, but I do like a little bit of it. And something I wanted to mention, is you were talking about the future of cinema. I do think they keep bringing female films. We will see it, and I think we can drag our guys to it as well. I think that men are becoming a little bit more educated and that they enjoy female comedies as well, or female-led comedies. They're not, female-led. It's just not for females or gay men.
Yeah.
So I think that it's like more positive. I hope maybe we're living in a Melbourne bubble, perhaps. You kind of brought that up earlier, like the future of cinema. Last night I was watching a comedy. It was a comedian for stand-up for the film festival, comedy festival, and he brought up that there's no teen comedies like there used to be, like teenage film.
Booksmart was probably the only teen comedy where it was great. Like it was, I didn't think that was inappropriate at all.
Yeah.
And it really showcased female friendship, hilarity, and just, I don't know, it was such a good film.
And when we say inappropriate, what we're meaning is like sexism, like breaking the law.
Yes.
Essentially, like if you did that, it is against the law.
Yeah, like American Pie. Yeah.
Yeah, like really bad stuff.
Yes.
That it was just like made for laughs. We wouldn't do that now, but I think that if we did it now, the teens don't want that anyway. They would call it out.
I think that there are teen-based comedies, but not on film.
Yeah, it's on streaming services.
Like In a Heartbreak High, Never Have I Ever.
And that's where they get edited by the.
But they're still good though, you know.
Yeah.
But I think it's not. There hasn't been a teen film. Maybe this goes back to the Gen Alpha, Gen Z not going to cinema theory. What's the point of giving them a film that they're not going to watch?
You might as well paying for it.
Yeah, and you might as well put it on TV, which they're subscribing to.
Yeah, it is a business. At the end of the day, we say film is a business.
Exactly.
It is interesting. We do love them. We want more of them. They do pop up. I just wish I want more. That's all. I think that's the thing. And then just celebrating that they do some really good stuff. Comedy is hard to be timeless.
Yeah, because humour changes.
But yeah, I would love to see more of those. Like we're starting to see more of the spoof comedy films, like Scary Movie.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Can't wait. So yeah, if we can see more of those, not remakes,
yeah,
new film. That's all we've got for today. But I just wanted to mention, as I've brought up a few times this episode, we do have a podcast. That's why we brought up The Sweetest Thing. We did that recently. We just look at these old films, what we like about it, what we don't like about it, what we'd do differently if we were to remake it ourselves.
Yeah.
You can find that on all
podcast streaming platforms. And please go find us, give us a like and subscribe. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.